Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Welcome to your 14th class, and this is our last class for the speaking skills course. Hopefully today's class is going to be a very successful review for the first classes, for the previous and the last classes. We will start first of all with what we have, and we will talk also about what we have taken during the semester and what are the major points that we have discussed. Please, if you have any kind of comments and discussion, try to email me at aalmani@kfu.edu.sa. Thank you. We've in this semester we've actually discussed the sound of it. That was a very important part in our course. And here, do you remember when we talked about the intonation and tag question? We said that we often, in a conversation, in a sentence that includes a tag question, we add a tag to a sentence and it becomes a question, right? For example, you will do it quickly, won't you? John and Mark aren't English, are they? Our voices, we said, our voices goes up. Our voices go up on the tag if we are not sure about the answer. It becomes a real question. You will do it quickly, won't you? So I'm not sure if the answer is yes or no. And our voice goes down on the tag if we already know the answer and making just small talk. John and Mark aren't English, are they? So here you know that John and Mark are not English, but just you want to make a small talk. So please try to do some of the exercises related to the tag question. Also, in our first classes, we have talked about common expressions in a conversation. How can you start a short conversation with a stranger? And we said we have taken different situations, like if you want to introduce someone, you can say, and you just introduce someone else. I would like you to meet my brother Yazan. The response, and I told you that you need to understand also the whole situation, not only to ask, not only to introduce, but also how to interact with the other person, how to respond. In such situations, like response should be like nice to meet you, or glad to meet you, pleased to meet you. So try to memorize all of these common expressions in conversation. Also, we have learned the skills of how to end a conversation. Well, I've got to run. I have to go. Your response should be, I have to go now, but I will call you. Maybe keep in touch. Talk to you soon. All of these are good ways to end your conversation. Also, we have learned the skills of expressing thanks. Like to say, thank you so much, thank you very much. That was very kind of you. How thoughtful. I appreciate it. I am very grateful. Your responses should be as the following. You're welcome. Do not mention it. So you need to understand how to say, how to express something, and how to respond to that expression. Also, we have learned the skill of how to give an apology, how to apologize. For example, and we have taken one of the situation, if you remember, like when you step on someone's feet or foot, you can say, oh, I am very sorry. You respond, you should be like, no problem, that's okay, that's all right, don't worry about it. So try to put yourself in such different situations and try to express the thing and then respond. Also, one of the sound of it, and again, this is one of the important sections in our course, it is how to understand reductions. And we said that learning reductions will help you to become a better listener. For example, one of these exercises, one of these reductions that we have discussed is as the following. like you need to switch you to yeah. And remember, all of these reductions are what? Are not correct in writing. You cannot write it like this way, but we actually put it here just to understand how the Americans speak. And also whatcha, gotta, wanna, and have to. Okay, so try, and next time, for example, if I ask you, you need to put like this, you have to, because we know that you should be like this. Okay, you have to have exact change. Okay, so try to put all of these reductions together. For example, if I give you an example consists of more than 2 reductions, you need to follow the rules. Okay. Also, we have talked about, and one of the major pillars and major sections in our course is a grammar, and those grammars that help you to speak, by the way. One of them was gerund, and we have discussed the gerund. It's actually ing. It takes ing form, and it can function as a subject of a sentence. And you should always use it as a singular. For example, voting is an important responsibility. Voting here is a gerund, and here it is a noun actually, because it functions as a subject. Look at the verb. The verb is singular because voting is singular. All gerunds are always singular. Choosing a candidate takes time. Choosing here is also functions as a subject. Also, we have actually said that gerunds all function as objects, can be object of a certain verbs. I suggest improving our school. Suggest is the verb, and what is following by the verb is often object. Another major section in our course was language learning strategy. And in this, actually, we have learned how to listen, especially for stress words when people speak in English. Okay? When people put a stress, they emphasize the important words in a sentence. I liked Anna. I liked Anna. So here, the stress indicates the importance of the word in a sentence. Again, the sound of it, one of our major section in this course. In this section, we have talked about the 2 kind of questions, with yes/no question and either/or question, and I ask you to differentiate between each one intonation. Okay? For example, in yes/no question, the answer is yes or no. The speaker's voices goes up 2 times. So you need to memorize and to understand these rules. Okay? Examples. Would you like coffee or tea? So you should understand now that in yes/no question, the speaker's voice goes up twice, 2 times. Would you like coffee or tea? Would you like coffee or tea? So here the answer is yes. Okay? So your voice should goes up twice. Would you like coffee or tea? Would you like coffee or tea? Yes, please. بينما in either or question, the answer is one of the 2 items from the question. إما هذه أو هذه. The speaker's voice goes up on the first item and down on the second item. Would you like coffee or tea? Tea, please. So here you're giving him the opportunity of choice, the chance of choosing either coffee or tea. So your voice goes up on the first item and goes down on the second item. Try to remember how to understand. Try to understand intonation in a question with or, with either or yes, no question. Also, one of the language skills that we have learned is how to express encouragement. To encourage someone, for example, who is telling you a story, to let that person know that, oh yeah, he's interested in my story. Well, you can say, right, okay, really, yay, and the wow and gosh, express your encouragement. Also, we have focused in one of the lectures, do you remember the culture notes? We have focused on this stuff, and they are very, very important to understand the culture of English speakers. Because you cannot isolate culture from the language. Language and the culture is blended, intermingled, okay? In all cultures, there are questions that are common to ask, and we said that in American, you cannot ask some of the questions like, how old are you? Are you married? How much do you make? How much money do you make? Okay? But sometimes people, they say, what kind of work do you have? Where are you from? Also, we have focused on the following reductions. And remember the rules of these reductions and how do we spell it. Wadiya, whatcha, kinda, dia, didya, diddy, yista, gonna. All of these are some of the reductions that I want you to practice as well, to understand it. Also, one of the language skills that we have learned is how to order food in a restaurant. Everyone goes to restaurants at weekends, maybe, on a fame mall or whatever, or McDonald's, and then you want to make an order. So you can use the, here's some of the phrases you can use when ordering a food in a restaurant. Like here we have a waiter. You can actually make a role play with yourself or maybe with your brother, waiter and the customer. You can ask the following questions like, may I take your order? What do you recommend? What would you like? What is special today? Would you like, for example, seafood or French fries or fried chicken? How much is that? Okay. So, and then after you eat, he can ask you, how is everything? And so on. You can use these expressions if you want to go and try to take these phrases with you when you go to a restaurant and try to make a conversation with one of the waiters in English. Also, one of the skills that, language skills that we have learned is how to give an advice. And here we have some phrases that you can use when giving advice, like you should go to the doctor if you are, for example, sick, and you ought to, and you had better to. I advise you not to go to your friend because he is angry at you now. Go later on. Also, we have talked about these stressed words, how, where, and how can we stress, and what words can we stress while we are speaking. Here are some examples. Remember, when you use can, you stress the words that follow it. So, I can ride a bike. Oh, if you actually use a negative form in a sentence, you need to put a stress to emphasize can't and the words that follow it. I can't ride a bike. Okay? I can't ride a bike, or I can ride a bike. Here we have one of the exercises that we got used to is how to start a conversation with the strangers in different situations, like at the bus stop, at the post office, at a wedding, and a supermarket, on a bus, anywhere, in a museum. For example, at the bus stop you can say, oh, it's hot today, isn't it? At the post office, the line is really slow, isn't it? It's nice to have a chance to celebrate, isn't it? These tomatoes look terrible, don't they? What country are you from? If you ask someone, if you want to start a conversation with someone on bus, for example. And then, can you lend me some money? This is a wonderful painting, isn't it? And here, this actually exercise reminds us with the tag question, right? With the tag question. Sometimes we have a real question, and sometimes we have a small, just to start a small talk. And one of the exercises we got used to is to give you some situations, and I ask you to study the situation and what you should do. For example, one of the situations that we have discussed, your class colleague is talking about a topic that you are unfamiliar with. You want to ask him or her for clarification. So here you need to go back to the skills, to the language skills of, you need to use some of the expressions to ask for clarification. What should you say? You can say, excuse me, what was that again? Or, could you repeat that? Or, how do you spell that? So that was what we had for the such situation. And then one of the grammatical lessons that we have taken is the uses of some models. Some of them, they show strong necessity, like must or have to or have got to. مثلا في الجملة الأولى, I must go to sleep. I have to go to sleep. Or I have got to go to sleep. Some of the models also, like had better, is used for a warning, للتحذير. Use had better to give a warning that something bad will happen if the advice is not followed. You had better study tonight, or you might fail the test. Or you had better go home now, or he will be in trouble. So all of these models are important to use if you want to show warning or necessity. Also, you should is used, as you know, to offer advice. You should eat something because you are hungry. The uses of could and might are most, we said that, are more gentle than the should. You could read a book. He could win your blue marble, and so, and so. Also, we have talked about these stuff. Again, they are actually repeated. However, one of the sections right here, also the major sections that we have discussed, are the how to understand reductions. And here, as you can see, we have lots of, it becomes lotta. She made a lot of friends. She made a lot of friends. أيضا lots of, مثلا she had lots of problem. She had lots of problem. أيضا to تلفظ مش ta. He wasn't able to ta. He wasn't able to relax. مش to relax. He wasn't able to relax. Could you help me with this? Could you help me with this? Could you help me with this? مرة أخرى, you حكينا عنها تصبح يا. I'll see you later. I'll see you later. I'll see you later. لاحظوا الريدكشنز وهذا مثاله. Here, let's hear er. For example, do you know her? Do you know her? بدون ما أحكي do you know her. الاتش عملتها silent. I ignore it. So we need to ignore some of these sounds. Do you know her? Do you know her? أيضا في عندنا مثال him تصبح am. Do you know him? Do you know him? Do you know him? and the reduced form for it is an. I was hurt and angry. I was hurt and angry. بدون ما أحكي I was hurt and angry. I was hurt and angry. I was hurt and angry. تحدثنا أيضا عن مسألة الparticiples في الإنجليزي وحكينا في we have two kind of participles, the past participle and the present participle. Okay, and we said that a participle is a form of a verb that function as an adjective. That function as an adjective. And you can go back to the lectures that we have discussed in details about these two different participles, the present and the past participle. أيضا, one of the cultural notes that we have discussed, and I need to just show you the major sections and points that we have discussed during the whole semester. Remember that it's not very impolite to call a woman lady. It's impolite to call a woman lady. But usually say madam or lady or whatever, right? Miss is much more polite. Miss is much more polite. Madam, or sorry, ma'am is for older women. Okay? You can call a man sir, but it is not polite to call a man Mr. without his last name. If you say Mr., you need to say Mr. John, Mr. James, Mr. Johnson. So you need to mention his last name. For example, if his name is James, Joan Adam, for example, Joan, okay, Adams, or maybe let me say James Adams. So this is his first name and here is his last name. So if you want to say to a man or to call a man in the United States with Mr., with his Mr., you should say Mr. Adams. If you said Mr., this is considered an impolite expression or call. Also, one of the most and major important lesson that we have discussed and learned is how to get meaning from the context. How to get meaning from the context. And we said that one of the ways to get meaning from the context is definitions. A definition gives you the meaning of words. So the writer may use words or phrases or statements to define something. Someone who explores and studies caves is known as spelunker, okay, or splinter. Here, some of the key words that we use, the writers use to give a definition. أو هذه الأشياء means, what this means is consist of, refer to, may be seen as, أو verb to do, verb to be مثل موجود هنا, is called, is described, is known, is defined. So whatever you see, these words or keywords, you should know that the writer is giving you a definition to a word. Someone who, for example, look at this example. Someone who explores and studies caves is known as splinter. Okay, هذه الكلمة مثلا غير مألوفة. The single word is known as. So the definition is someone who explores and studies caves. Also, another way to get the meaning from the context is restatement. The writer may use other words or statements or phrases or sentences to provide the meaning of difficult words. هذا ما نسميه restatement. The surface of Africa consists mainly of plateaus or large flat areas, although these occur at different levels. لاحظوا الآن or هذه هي من signal or keywords that we use, the writers use to restate something or to put a similar phrase or expressions or sentence to another one. Okay, so platus was the unfamiliar word, or as the signal word, large flat areas is a definition or restatement for platus. Also, the third way to get the meaning from the sentence is punctuation marks. Punctuation is used to describe the meaning of unfamiliar words. The writer will write unfamiliar words and then use punctuations, words or phrases or sentences to explain the meaning of the new words, such as punctuation and such punctuations like these: the commas, the positives, the parentheses, the dashes. Dashes just looks like this, or maybe sometimes like this, semicolons and colon. And here we have supported you with some of the examples, like example number 1 right here. 4 color pictures are printed using only black and 3 colors: yellow, cayenne, and magenta. Having both of these words, cayenne or maybe magenta, are what? Or cyan, whatever. They are, this word and this word are unfamiliar to you, right? Even to me. But how can we get the meaning of this one? We need to look that the author, or sorry, the writer, used the parentheses to indicate the meaning of these unfamiliar words. So the first word, it means light blue, and magenta, it means a light purple. Also, in the second example, it's very clear for you. Also, one of the other ways that we can use to get a meaning from context is examples. And examples help us to understand the meanings of new words. The writers may use examples to explain or to give more definition to one word. We can use the writers usually use these signal words, like such as, like, for example, for instance, is, and are, to give to indicate that he's going to give examples. For example, use navigation buttons such as. Such as is one of the signal words. Now, what you're expecting is examples. The next, and so the next button, the previous button, the menu button, the exit button to go back and forth or jump to other topics while you are using your English software. So which one of the unfamiliar words? The navigation. Navigation buttons, what are they? They are buttons on a computer program that are used for turn on pages, like next, previous, menu, and exit, and so on. Also, we have taken some more reductions example, and remember, these reductions are not correct in writing. We cannot use them in writing. We just use them right here to understand the way that people speak. Okay? One of the reductions that we have taken, like out of, like to say, get out of here, get out of here. Give me, it becomes give me that book. Let me, it becomes let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Don't know, بصير don't know. Don't know. I don't know. Don't you, don't ya. You like it, don't ya. Don't ya. Didn't you, didn't ya. You like it, didn't ya. Didn't ya. Okay? So please try to memorize all of these reductions and try to put them in different situation examples and try to test yourself. Also, some of the important rules that we have taken regarding the intonation, that in English people show emotion with their intonation. When they are enthusiastic or excited or very happy, their voices go up on stressed words. There are more mountains and valleys in their speech, like this one. Here we have mountains and valleys. Okay? Mountains and valleys. It's really wonderful. it's really wonderful. لاحظوا, it's really wonderful. هذه لما يكون people are excited. When people are not very excited, their voices usually do not go up. An example below, the person says it's really wonderful, but probably does not really think so. However, look at the way he is speaking right here. It's almost like a neutral, okay? It's really wonderful. But we don't think he's truly saying the truth. Again, when a person likes another person and wants to be friendly, the voices usually goes up. Oh, hi, how are you? When a person does not feel very friendly toward another person, the voices do not usually go up. Oh, hi, how are you? See, the voice is just like neutral, like here. These actually diagrams will help you to understand the way that we are saying it. When a person shows quite sincerity, honest or true feelings, the voice might not go up much, but there is probably a small pause between words or word groups, like he's a great friend. So see, we have like pauses between each expression. When the person is not very sincere, there's usually no pause. Oh, he's very friend. He's very good a friend. So, I mean, these feelings are not sincere. They are not honest. They are not true feelings. Also, one of the language skills that we have used if you want to make an appointment is as the following. So we have learned the skills of how to make an appointment. So when you make an appointment, both speakers need to agree on the time. What can you say if the other person suggests a time that is not possible for you? You can say several things. Could I make an appointment for an interview? Yes, of course. How's Tuesday morning at 10? So if you disagree with him, you say, I'm afraid that I will be busy. I'm talking no. Okay? Learn how to respond to a negative question. أيضا هذه من القواعد اللي أخذناها. How to respond to a negative question, or more specifically, a negative statement with intonation that goes up at the end. People often use statements words order to ask a negative question if they think the answer will be no. Their intonations goes up. You don't have one. In many languages, people answer yes because they are thinking, yes, that's right. I don't have one. But in English, the answer should be no. So, you don't have one. No, I don't. بينما في other languages, yes, that's right, I don't have. But in English, remember, I'm asking you now in English, you should say, no, I don't. But to show, you can show, when you show surprise in a negative question, if your intonation goes down low and then up high at the end, you don't have one. No, I don't. Okay? So here you actually show surprise in a negative question. Why? Because my intonation goes down low and then up high at the end. No, I don't. So you can actually choose one of your partners and just, you can make a role play. Sometimes a person thinks that the answer to a question will be no, but that person is not right. How do you answer? You don't have one? Yes, I do. It's very important to stress the affirmative verb in the answer. Do. Yes, I do. Okay? So try to memorize all of these actually rules and try to apply them, please. One of our lectures also, we have focused on most frequent prefixes and suffixes, and we said that prefixes are a group of letters that we add at the beginning, we put at the beginning of a word, and we said that prefixes and suffixes are actually a group of letters that we add at the end of the word, and we said that prefixes and suffixes are called affixes. And also we said that affixes can change the meaning and can change the part of the speech of the word. It can change the noun into a verb and vice versa. Here also one of the examples, like programmer. Program, when you see ER at the end, programmer, it means the person who do the program. So it makes it a noun. Also, a computer is a noun. بينما لو حكينا compute بدون الR is a verb. Organization، الكلمة اللي بتنتهي في شن هي noun، لكن إذا أضفنا للشن آل تصبح adjective. Action noun لأنها انتهت في شن. Analyst أيضا noun، بينما لو حكينا analyze هذه بتكون analyze بتكون تنتهي أي كلمة تنتهي في I Z E تكون في العادة فعل مثل كلمة maximize، والكلمة بتنتهي ب C efficiency noun. printer noun. preferable اللي بنتهي ب able أو IBL هذه بتكون adjective. فلذلك أنا بدي منكم تحفظوا the meanings of these prefixes and suffixes as well as the function, the grammatical function of the affixes. Okay? So please try to go back to actually it is a class maybe number 11, okay, to understand the meanings and the functions of each prefix and suffix. Also, in the last classes we have talked about the comparative and superlative, and we said the words that with one syllable they take ER in a comparative case and EST with a superlative. Also we said that words with two syllables ends with Y, they actually, we need to change Y into I and then we add ER in the case of comparative, and in case of superlative we change the Y into I and then we add the EST. With the words of more than two syllables like modern, we need to use more to express comparative form, and most modern to say to build a superlative form. Also, we said that every rule has a kind of exceptions, and one of the exceptions of this rule is good, and I have provided with a list of these irregular adjectives. يعني, although the good has one syllable, we cannot say gooder. We should say better in case of comparative and best in case of superlative. Okay? Lately, in the last class, we've talked about how to express agreement or disagreement for constructive dialogue. And I'm talking now about 13th class. The 13th class. And we said it's not an easy task to participate in a controversial discussion. We said we need to not to sound harsh. We don't need to be offending. We should also control our bad feelings. Okay? And then we said that the most suitable discussions for our for our class is the academic environment. We have talked about the three levels of discussions. One of them is the dialogue. حكينا إنه the goal is primarily to try and understand where each person is coming from, what is his opinion, what he or she thinks, and why he or she thinks this way. وهذا ما يكون موجود في الأكاديميك وورد. أيضا تحدثنا عن level 2 اللي هو discussion، وحكينا إنه الفرق ما بين level 2 و level 3. level 3 we listen carefully and then we speak and then we try to understand why they think and what they think and why they think so and where they come from. لكن في level 2 we say we are actually more interested in speaking than listening. Okay, because I want just to show my perspective. 11.1 اللي هو كان نسميه debate، وحكينا إنه here the goal of this kind of level is to prove that you are right and the other is wrong, black or white. And please try to avoid such such debate, such kind of discussion, and try to remember the some of the advices I've given you in the last class. You need to avoid some bad habits in conversation. Hopefully that you have found this review very helpful for you to understand the major points of speaking skills course. And I wish you luck in your final test. Thank you so much. Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.